What's up, everyone? All right, well, I'm back for a second recap. I wasn't planning on it, but right now we've got a stock that is squeezing up after hours. Now, it seems like maybe it's peaked, at least for the time being. So this gives me a second to do this recap and walk you through this price action. I broke the ice and traded it during power hour. I wasn't planning on it, but I was sitting here working on the Warrior Pro classes, getting things polished. I've always got stuff to do. And so all of a sudden, out of the corner of my eye, boom, 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 I see this stock, Zena, Z-E-N-A, hitting my scanner. And first it's up 150%, then 200, 250, and it just keeps going higher. So finally, I was like, you know what? I'm going to break the ice. I'm going to take a small trade on it. And I locked up just under $5,000. Not bad. So I'm currently sitting now up green on the day, $7,574.91. Zena is the second biggest winner of the day, an unexpected power hour squeeze. So let's look at this chart and kind of break it down. When I pulled this up, I saw it during kind of the lunch hour, 12:15, into 1:30. I saw it make a nice move up, but it was a little lower priced. And I thought, hey, that's great to see, but it was nothing parabolic. It wasn't going straight up. It was grinding higher, but not enough to get me off the sidelines. It pushes a little higher into 2 o'clock, and then it pulls back. Going into 3 o'clock, it pops back up again, it dips down, it pops up again, and right here, when it pulls away at 550, that's when I got interested. I was like, all right, well now this is getting kind of interesting because it went from 550 straight up to 6. It pulled back for a second, and that's where I jumped in. So I rode the momentum on this from 6 up to 650, up to 7. It pulls back, pops back up to 7, dips down. We got this after hours ABCD pattern all the way up to 8. Current high now is about 850. And I actually gave back a little profit off the top because I thought up at 850, we were going to go up to 9. Now, the thing on this one is this has an interesting daily chart. We look at the daily chart on this stock and let's check it out. We'll go full screen here. This daily chart shows blue sky is over 11. That's the all-time high. So this is a somewhat recent IPO. Now that adds a little bit of juice because look at the volume on the stock. Today is by far the highest volume day it has ever had. You had some days back here, but it's got, a couple 100,000 shares of volume. That's it. Now it does have these 2 days back here. This was a higher volume day at 54 million shares, and this was a higher volume day at 47 million shares. But once we were above the highs of those 2 days, anyone who got in on those 2 days and was holding under the water, well, they've now had a chance to get out. And the fact is, what's the float on this stock? It's about 1 million shares. You've got a 1 million share float. How many shares of volume does it have right now? 110 million shares on the day, which means anyone who was in this who wanted to get out could have easily sold today, and yet the stock kept moving higher. That's the concept of float rotation. So float rotation is you've got the float, the number of shares available to trade right here, and let's say you've got a float of 1 million shares. Well, of all of those shares, some of them are being held by institutions. Now, I don't know specifically for this stock. I'd have to go and look at my data. But just as a general rule of thumb, a portion is held by institutional traders. Some is held by insiders, closely held. And so those aren't people who are selling. And then you have the remaining, which are held by retail traders. And these are the shares that are kind of freely trading in and out. So when you've got a 1 million share float, and let's say you've got 10 million shares of volume and the stock goes up 50%. That's a nice move. It's an imbalance between supply and demand. 10 million shares of demand, 1 million shares of supply. So what happens when you go and you add another zero? You make it 100 million shares of volume. Well, that's when you add another zero here. Instead of getting a 50% move, you're getting something like a 500% move. And we didn't get quite that big of a move here on this one, but nearly, 350%, over 350%, which is really impressive. That is good to see. And that wouldn't happen if we didn't have this massive imbalance between supply and demand. That's what gives way to these big moves. So when someone looks at, pulls up a chart for me and says, hey, Ross, look at, what was that one from today? QUBT? QUBT. Say, Ross, look at QUBT. Do you think this is the one? And I look at it and I say, well, the float's 59 million shares. So how many shares of volume does this have today? It's got about 133 million shares of volume. So it's actually got more volume than Zena. but it's only up 22%. What's the deal? The issue here is that it has so much more supply that even with a bit more volume, the imbalance isn't there between supply and demand. It's only got 2 times float rotation. And this is a stock that's up so much that if all 59 million shares wanted to sell on the market today, well, it would dump the stock. And clearly some of those shareholders have been taking profit as it's moved higher, which has slowed down its ability to really go parabolic. When we look at some of the stocks in previous weeks or months that have made big move, Drug, this is a stock, it's actually up a bit right now, float of 4.4 million shares. 4.4 million shares. Let's look at the daily chart on this. On this day, it traded 100 million shares of volume. That's crazy. That's huge float rotation. And it goes from $2 all the way up to $40 a share. Within a couple of days, it hits a high of 80. If that had a float of 40 million shares, the supply would have been too heavy. It would have held back that move. So this all ties back to your most important job as a trader. Stock selection, choosing the right stocks to trade every single day. Now, stock selection is going to be unique to your strategy in the sense that if you're a swing trader or if you're investing, your stock selection criteria is going to be different than mine. But if you're day trading, what are you looking for as a day trader? Let's be real. You're looking for volatility. You don't want to buy a stock that's going sideways, and you don't want to buy something like Nvidia or Tesla that's it's moving around, but it's choppy. You want to buy something, well, I suppose probably like Zena that goes up 300% in one day. And you'd love to get into the bottom and you'd love to sell at the top. And that's a perfect world and that's not going to happen. So if we're going to be realistic, the next best thing is, okay, you found a stock that's moving. Let's say when I first popped it up, when it was down here at 5, when I started to get serious about it, 550, it was already up at that point 200%, 220%. It was moving in the right direction. I was interested. And I could have said, oh, it's too extended, I can't trade it. But what I knew about this stock was that it met my 5 criteria for being worthy of trading. And so as it started to pull away, I said, all right, this is something I should pay attention to. And all of a sudden we get this squeeze here all the way up to 735. It pulls back, it pops back up. It pulls back, it pops back up. We get that next squeeze higher. So this gave opportunities. I don't mind buying high as long as I feel I can manage my risk. And so the way I'm managing my risk on these types of stocks is I'm looking at the lows of recent pullbacks and I'm saying that's my max loss. So when this came up to 6, I was getting in right around 6. Stop was just below the whole dollar. So 6 is psychological resistance. As long as it can hold above 6, my stop becomes 595. Just put it right underneath that level. Maybe it dips down for a second, pops back up, and then we're good. Then off it goes to 650. Once it's over 650, it's got to hold 650. Goes to 7, it's got to hold 7. It breaks 7. Okay, I'm out of the trade. Let it dip down. Comes back up, breaks over 650. All right, looks good. Can't get over 7, pulls back. All right, small winner. Drops down again, comes back up, breaks 7. Okay, that's an entry. Up to 750. Awesome. Holds 750. Now up to 8. Awesome. Can't hold over 8. Dips down. Tries again. Can't do it. Dips down. And, look at this. All of a sudden, we're rallying back up here. We're coming back up to 8. So right now, we're at 790. And as I look at this chart, so if I'm going to break this down, I'm going to say we got a problem here, which is that the MACD is negative. The MACD right now is negative. So this could be a little bit of a trap. As it rallies back up off the low from 7 back up to 8, some traders are going to look at that and think, oh my gosh, this thing's going. I'm going to jump in. But I look at this and I say, give me a reason not to trade it. And that MACD being negative is a reason not to trade it. That's a little bit of a risk factor. The MACD was also negative right in this area. And then once it crosses over, as we pull away, we got some nice action there moving up to the highs. So I like to pay pretty close attention to the MACD on the 1-minute chart. Not on the 5-minute, not on the 10-second, but on the 1-minute. Yes, this definitely has room on the daily. I mean, look, it could grind higher. It may, and maybe we'll be trading it again tomorrow. But we also have an issue right now with declining volume. It's getting later in the day. It's 4:45. People are, they're leaving. It's 4:45. People are done for the day. So when you get decreasing volume, what does that mean? The spreads start getting a little bit bigger. It starts not being quite so, big on the breakouts. It starts getting a little choppier. And although I could be wrong, and maybe by the time some of you guys are watching this, it does go to 9, 10, or 11. It would, well, if it does that, then you'll get a MACD crossover. But I wouldn't be back in this until you get that MACD crossover, because at this time of day, there's just a lot of risk on it. But nonetheless, this is great to see. This is exactly what I wanted to see this afternoon. So did I make a ton on it? No, but I got a little base hit trade, broke the ice, got a couple small trades, and I was prepared to step up if it started to pull away and kept going parabolic, but then it kind of pulled back there right into the close. So, and I mean, it rallied back up one more time, but got a little choppy. The good news is we're seeing momentum, and this is exactly what we want to see. Now, we know that it's a holiday week. We've got Thanksgiving on Thursday, so we've got a shorter week. Some traders like myself want to try to make up a little bit of, make up for the fact that we're going to miss a day on Thursday. So we've got a 4-day week. And, if I see something squeezing, I'm going to try to jump in. So paying attention to stocks that are moving, especially when they fall within my wheelhouse of being the right type of stock to trade, again, based on 5 criteria of stock selection. Now, if I didn't already mention it, I'll tell you right now, if I jump over here, I'm going to jump over to the dashboard. Right now, we've got our Black Friday sales going on. So you can come over to Join Now here at Warrior Trading. You'll check out the Black Friday sales. We've got sales discounts on the starter. We've got discounts on the Pro, and we've got discounts on the Pro special bundle. So what are these 3 different products? How does this work? The Warrior Starter is a membership, and this will give you access to my 15-chapter day trading course. This is called Day Trading the Basics. As part of this Warrior Starter package right here, you'll also get access to a month of my live audio video broadcast while I'm trading, a month of access to the chat room, a month of access to Day Trade Dash. That's the software that you see back here that has charts, scanners, news feed, and that I'm using every single day for my trading. And you'll get a month of access to a trading simulator with real-time level 2 data, also showing halt levels and halt resumptions, so you can practice the strategies you're learning in a safe environment. So that's our Warrior Starter. It's an introductory, gets you in the door, gets you started. Now, the Warrior Pro includes everything you have with the starter, but it also gives you access to my full-length flagship course called Strategies in Scaling. That is a 20-chapter course, over 100 hours of content just on that course. And then I've got all these live trading archives. We've got a trading psychology course. We've got trader rehab. All of that is part of the Warrior Pro membership. So when you're a Warrior Pro member, you get access to everything from the starter plus all of these other courses. And the one that most of you guys will be interested in is my course on strategies and scaling. And that's actually what I was just working on when I saw Zena starting to squeeze up. So the Strategies and Scaling course, I'm constantly adding to it and expanding it based on, real live trading archives, examples of things that are happening in the market today. I think one of the things that I've heard from a lot of traders, and I heard this more than 10 years ago, when I first created this YouTube channel, it was, I think I created the YouTube channel in January of 2013, so 11 years ago. The following year, I taught in 2014 my first version of the day trading course here at Warrior Trading, so 10 years ago. And when I taught that first version of the course, I had a lot of people who came to me who said, Ross, I took another course by this person or by this person. But the problem was they talked all about the basics of how the market works, what the float is, how candlestick charts work, how technical indicators work, And they showed trades that they took that were winning trades, but they didn't put the pieces together. So now I'm sitting here with a lot of general knowledge, but I don't really have a system of what I'm supposed to do each day to find those types of stocks. And so I realized, okay, there's a big gap here that I need to bridge between general knowledge of the market, which is important, and an actual strategy with a system and a set of rules that you can follow every single day. Success in trading is a byproduct of following a consistent set of rules. So a lot of people focus on profit. Focus on system. Focus on following your rules every single day. And so as I created the day trading courses that we now have today, that they've evolved to be, my focus was on how to bridge the gap to help people understand and walk away at the end of the class with a trading plan that they can follow and with very clear sets of rules of the type of stocks that I like, where I get in, where I get out. And so that's what we now have. And I'm so thrilled whenever I see people who go through the class and they say, Ross, this is like hands down, so much better than this other experience I had because you made it so clear. So I'm sure you'll see people in the comments that reaffirm this, and because I see it all the time, so I'm sure people will comment on it. But anyway, so the Warrior Starter, that gets your foot in the door, gives you my access to my 15 chapter class, Day Trading the Basics. The Warrior Pro gives you Day Trading the Basics and Day Trading Strategies and Scaling. Now, the Warrior Pro special offer here gives you everything that the Warrior Pro includes, but it adds on a year of access to my live audio video broadcast and our chat room, and 90 days of access to Day Trade Dash, and 90 days of access to our simulator. So it's a bundle that includes access to some of these tools that most of our members really like and really appreciate. If you don't want access to all those tools, then you could join just the Warrior Pro here. You'll get 30 days of chat, sim, and the scanners, but it'll just be 30 days. So if you want to go up to extra time, then you can do that here. Anyways, the choice is yours, and you guys all get a 7-day money-back guarantee if you do the Warrior Pro special. So you get to really get a feel for whether or not this is the community where you want to learn how to trade. I think you're going to love it. We offer this money-back guarantee because we believe in this class that we've put together. I really think you're going to have a great time, but by all means, try it out, see what you think. So make sure you use the coupon codes that are on this page right here. You can click these buttons and it'll apply the coupon code for you. And I'll remind you, as always, look, trading is risky. There's no question about it. Easy come, easy go. You saw in my first trade today, if you saw the first recap I did, I was up $10,000 on the day, and then I gave back half my profit. So easy come, easy go. But that's why we gave you the simulator, so you can practice these new strategies you're learning in a safe environment. That's the idea, all right? It's all about building confidence, taking it slow, and doing everything we can to help you avoid falling into the traps of the market that so many beginner traders get caught in. Revenge trading, emotional hijack, FOMO, averaging down, just all of that stuff that just ruins them before they even really give it a full chance. So anyways, that's it for me. Amazing, amazing power hour here today on Zena. Glad to see it moving higher. It's kind of holding right now. So, if it just holds this level into after hours or into, the close, then probably tomorrow, 4 a.m., it'll pop up again, and we'll have to see what it looks like come, 7 a.m. So 7 a.m., that's when I'll be live streaming for members here at Warrior Trading. So hope to see you guys in the chat room bright and early tomorrow morning. Again, thanks as always for tuning in. And I'll remind you again, trading is risky. My results aren't typical, and there's no guarantee you'll find success, whether you trade with me or you learn on your own. So please take it slow. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow.